Okay, I think we are officially live and unmuted. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday, another Wednesday of diving deep into what matters most to you. So, first of all, I want to thank each of you for your feedback. I've been getting really awesome feedback as we're going week to week of what's serving you, what you want to learn about, and what's not feeling as important right now. And so, one thing that I've received a lot in the past week is that one thing that's feeling really important to me is my sleep. And so we are starting to talk about sleep. I know we've been talking about women in the workplace, but what I'm hearing is that I understand the environment, but what I need right now is support for me. So, what I want to do, especially now, since I'm getting a lot of feedback of my sleep isn't the best that it's actually been the worst that it's been in a while. My sleep is lighter. I'm tired in the morning. I'm dragging. I feel like I'm starting my workday later, and it's having this snowball effect where then I'm not working out and so on and so forth. So, today we are kicking off a way to start to talk about our sleep, and we're starting right with the importance of sleep. And so, a lot of us know that it is so important, but what we're not realizing is what it's actually doing to us when we're not sleeping well. So, my goal for you today is to feel inspired to get a good night's sleep. So, let's start to get into it. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Lauren Baptiste, and I am an executive wellness coach and the founder of Akaloa Wellness. My company works with hardworking, passionate, inspired, soulful individuals and provides the tools, the techniques, and the mindset shifts to be successful, to thrive in today's environment, given everything going on. So, my background, I have been in financial services for over 10 years. I am learned in the sciences of Ayurveda, yoga, Reiki, and other holistic nutrition and modalities to help give you what you need to be successful in your life. So, this is going to help you stress less. This is going to help you achieve more. Today, we're all about having you sleep better. So, let's get into it because I know this is an important one. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, any feedback, I would love to know. Send them in the chat feature from wherever you're watching this, whether it's on Zoom or Instagram or Facebook. I would love to know, how are you sleeping on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being I'm sleeping great. 1 is I'm not sleeping very well at all. I want to know how you are sleeping. I want to know how you're doing. All right. So in the meantime, while we're collecting all that data, what I want to do is start with a quote from the Vedas. So this is the Ayurvedic scriptures that is at least dating over 3,500 years. Some say older than 5,000 years old, but there are these principles that are true and true through and through. So I want you to think about, if you notice that your sleep isn't great, hi, so good to see you. And now I'm flipping my camera on Instagram. All good, trying to wave, multitasking. Okay, so I want you to see how you are doing in your sleep health and noticing if it's trickling into other areas of your well-being. So I want to see if you're experiencing either obesity or emaciation, so either gaining weight or losing significant weight because of improper sleep. If you're experiencing more sorrow or sadness or depression because of your sleep, more anxiety because of your sleep, feeling more impotent because of your sleep, ignorant, and then even just feeling that the life is being taken out of you. So in the Vedas, it says, due to proper and adequate sleep, the body, tissues, and doshas remain in a balanced state of health, physically and mentally. So it's saying right then and there, adequate sleep is imperative to good health. So in the Charak Samhita, which is one of the most ancient and most verified and honored scriptures, we really see the simplicity here of sleep being paramount to our well-being. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of why is sleep affecting me, and why do I need to have better sleep? So let's understand a little bit more, because I think most of us kind of had the question of how many hours a day should I sleep, or what pills can I be taking to sleep better? But I want to start to uncover that, because it's less about a perfect number or a medication that gets you into sleep, but it's starting to identify what's the diet and the lifestyle to help you sleep better. So I don't want to just put a band-aid on what's going on. I want to give you techniques to feel better, to sleep better, to live better. So who's with me for this journey? Okay. All right, so going a little bit further, because today we're talking all about the importance, and in the next couple of modules, we're going to talk about the importance of waking up early. We're going to talk about some remedies if you're not able to sleep, and some hacks that you can do that are natural and feel good and they work. So stay with me because we are going on this whole journey of sleep from the lens of Ayurveda. So one thing that we need to know is that even when we're sleeping, our body is working. So during this time, there's a lot of activity that's happening in the body that is important and is just as critical as us being awake. A lot of times there's the quote, right, when we're working with individuals or when I'm working with them, there's often this kind of sense, this thought that I'll sleep when I'm dead, or sleep isn't important, or I'll make up for it later. Maybe that works for a week or two, a month or two, a year or two max. But what you'll start to notice is if you're not sleeping overall, you're going to start to feel the dis-ease of the body. And maybe you're feeling it now in COVID. I'm hearing so often that it's spiraling out, that the lack of good sleep is starting to affect the way you're thinking, the way you're working. There's more errors in what you're giving to your boss, and maybe even just a lack of zest for feeling good in your job. And so while we're sleeping at night, it's important to know that there is work happening, and it's important to let this work happen. So in the Ayurvedic time of day, they say 10 o'clock is when the liver, which is the janitor of the body, begins to detoxify and do a lot of that work. So don't worry about necessarily the green juice, right, to detoxify. Allow your organs to work when they're meant to. So at this time, we're moving into the Pitta time of day. For those who do follow the Ayurvedic time, you'll notice that the body starts to go to work. You may start to notice that if you're not in bed by 10 o'clock, you may feel a second wind come on. So we're going to talk again about ways that you can start to feel better, or allow the body to do what it needs to do. But just know that even during this time, the blood pressure is going to reduce. The pulse is going to reduce, right? A lot of times we know this when we take our pulse first thing in the morning. It's a lot slower than maybe this time of day in the afternoon. We'll also notice that in this time of day, while there's activity happening to help digest what had happened the day before, we're also experiencing other activity in the body where there's muscle tone decrease, maybe even the GI tract, or that area from the mouth all the way to the colon, can sometimes increase if it's trying to digest food. So what's happening is if you're not sleeping, if you're staying awake at night, your body even is feeling this aggravation. You may notice it when you get up in the morning. You feel aggravated, tired, cranky, right? But what's actually also happening to your body if you're not sleeping well is you might be experiencing things such as constipation or weakness, maybe even feeling like scatterbrained, maybe even feeling just not yourself. And there's so many other symptoms of what a poor night's sleep could do. I'm sure you can fill in the blank for so many of them. So according to the Ayurvedic time, and it's different for every dosha, right? So if you're more Vata Prakriti, that means your constitution, or Pitta or Kapha, it can vary. But ideally, they say approximately 8 hours. And so any adult that's over that age of 18, if you sleep 8 hours, generally you feel better. And so often I'll hear from some of you that say, well, 6 hours is all I need, or I can't get more than 5 just because my work is too busy. So living in a reality of what we're dealing with on a daily basis, I do want to give that range of 6 to 8 hours if you can try to hold to that. I've even worked with clients who say some nights they'll sleep 2 or 3 hours, some nights they'll sleep 12 hours or more. And so what I want you to do is start to find a consistent sleep. So sometimes it's even less of how much you're sleeping, but how consistent you sleep over time. So this whole myth of I'll sleep when I'm dead, or I'll just make up for it on the weekend, it doesn't completely work. So I do want to invite you to start to think about how important sleep is as part of your day and how much we can take it into our life right now. So maybe even just jot down or feel free to share on the chat, but I'd love to know what time you normally go to sleep and what time you wake up and what's your general average. And I think this is always just a really fun kind of way to learn about each other and to explore what's going on. I used to be a person who would sleep around somewhere between 11 and 12 at night, and then I'd wake up anywhere around, I don't know, 7 in the morning, or depending on my work day, as pretty much as late as I could and still get to work on time. And so I don't know if you have that same kind of calendar, but what that's actually doing is going somewhat against the circadian rhythms of our body. And by avoiding the rhythm of nature, we're actually making it harder on ourselves. You may notice you feel really groggy when you wake up, regardless of what time you went to bed. And there's something to do with that. And so we're going to explore that again in a future session. So I would love to know if you have any questions coming up as you're thinking about sleep, as your sleep is coming into question right now, because this is getting really real. We could be focused on so many different things, but if we don't sleep well, how can we show up to our work well? How can we show up in our lives feeling really energetic, excited, playful? Sometimes if we're just not sleeping well, then we kind of move into survival mode, and then we're focusing on just surviving one meeting to the following, to the next day, till I get to the weekend. And here's the thing. If I'm not sleeping, if I'm not feeling zest for my life, I'm going to start to feel really stressed. I'm going to feel overwhelmed. I'm going to feel, what am I doing? I don't even like this anymore. Why do I do this job? Why did I decide to have kids? Right? Like, it starts to go into this negative spiral. So today is the invitation to put that to rest and to put yourself to rest, right? So there's so many things you could do to support your health through sleep. And so that's where we're going this month. I'm really excited to be sharing with you. We have some really fun things happening right now. But what I also wanted to share, just as we're kind of shifting and thinking about the importance of sleep, I want you to ask yourself, right? This is a self-reflection. So it's good to know the linear side of, I know how much I sleep, and I know, how often I sleep, and I could start to qualify or quantify like what's going on. But I want you to qualify of like, what's going on with your sleep? Why don't you think you're sleeping well? Because each client I speak to, if I'm talking to you, I know you know why you're not sleeping. There's a worry, a fear, a concern about something. There's usually something, whether it's in our past or in our future, that's holding us back from our greatest potential. And so that is the beginning of our journey, to start to identify the things that are preventing me from having a good night's sleep. And because I always love to make sure that I give each session with a technique or a tool, what I want to invite for you is to become all immersive in your sleep, become aware of your sleep. You don't have to create a sleep journal, but it'd be really great to know. Again, just notice if even your assumption is true. What time are you going to sleep? Jot what time you're waking up. And if you're waking up at all in the middle of the night, write down, what are you thinking about? What's on your mind? And if you're noticing it's hard to fall asleep, what's on your mind? What's going on? It's this self-inquiry that allows to begin the process of healing. So I can give you all the techniques in the world, but if we're not focusing on that thing that's keeping you up at night, your sleep is still going to feel challenged. And although maybe you sleep 10% better, which I think all of us would take a 10% increase in our sleep, it's preventing it from being 50% better, 100% better. So let's start there today. I just want you to think about that right now. One thing I also get a lot of questions on as we're thinking about the importance of sleep and when to sleep is this idea of napping. So generally, a healthy person is not designed to sleep during the day. The only exception to that is in the summertime. So right now, that siesta feel. So in the summertime or in the more active days of summer, you'll notice that there are qualities in the summer that allow for sleep without creating this heaviness or this accumulation of excess, what they say, kapha in the body. So that could be excess mucus, excess heaviness, weight, right? So what we want to do is, if we are sleeping in the summer, make it a cat nap, make it short, set a timer. But in the winter, you usually aren't meant to sleep if you're fully healthy. Now, some of you out there might be experiencing serious stress and sleep deprivation, and the only time you might be able to catch up is in a nap. And if that's the case for you, you have permission to sleep. So if you're experiencing excess worry, anxiety, overwhelm, twitches of the body, dryness of the skin, constipation, irregular menstruation, you have permission to sleep more, to nap when you can. And the idea of that is to quell the nervous system. Any type of stress or anxiety that comes up needs to be quelled and grounded. And so that, I hope, is really helpful. So depending on where you are in the realm of your sleep, I'd love for you to explore what you need to be successful. And so next week when we come together, bring your thoughts and bring your ideas of and your questions of what you need to thrive. Because the sleeping schedule for your partner might be different than what you need, which is different than what your boss is expecting of you. So it's important to feel into what do you need, because you are important. You are the most important. And if you're not getting sleep, then there's no way you're able to be the best version of yourself. So I hope that is helpful for you today. We are starting Sleep Month. We're going to go into a couple sessions and modules talking about sleep. I'm really excited to go here with you. So just to recap, we're going to be going through ways to fall asleep easier. We're going to talk about sleep remedies, and then we'll maybe throw in some other things based on your questions and what you're telling me. I so appreciate your feedback. If you're looking to explore it a little bit more, if you don't know kind of how to take your next steps forward, reach out to me. My email is lauren@acheloawellness.com, ACHELOA, wellness spelled out.com. And I would love to talk to you. I'd love to be able to share ways that you can sleep better, live better, and just thrive in your everyday. It is an honor to be here every single Wednesday to share my tips and tricks and the things that I learned so that you can be successful in your own way. And so that is it for today. Sending you a blessed rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you next week. Let's get some good sleep now. Talk to you soon. Bye.